First, it's off to the panto for a celebration of that traditional and much-loved figure, the dame, who over the years has evoked countless cries of, "Oh yes I am," "Oh no you're not."
Women are not going to be funny dressed up as women, are they? I mean, it's this ludicrous fact that there is this raucous, large thing.
A dame, to my mind, has to be a man, most obviously a man, dressed up as a woman. And this man dressed up as a woman is going to take the mickey, generally, in various ways, in caricature ways, of woman and womanhood. And therein lies the fun of the dame.
I shouldn't think anyone sitting in the audience would imagine that either she or the lady next door or her sister-in-law would look anything or act in any way that the way a pantomime dame does.
It's a bit like having a baby. There's no modesty involved at all. When you're down to a pair of fishnet tights in the wings and a hairnet on your head and false eyelashes, you can't have any pride at all.
I can't imagine a Christmas to go by without doing a pantomime. I'd miss it very much indeed. In fact, I did. One Christmas, I was at the Windmill in London doing a play. And I missed it so much that on Christmas Eve, just to cheer myself up, I put my eyelashes on and did the play my eyelashes because I was missing that wonderful excitement that comes over the audience, the smell of orange peel and ice cream. And that lovely buzz on Boxing Day. It's a wonderful thing, wonderful way to spend Christmas.
You swing them.
Pardon?
Funny men dressing up as funny women carries on a tradition which started in the Victorian Music Hall. Every Christmas, British comics find themselves lured into the costume of Widow Twankey, Mother Goose, Mrs. Crusoe. But it's way back in the autumn that artists like Terry Scott, who is to be Dame Trot in Jack and the Beanstalk, must discover whether the body will fit the dress.
Might titillate somebody.
The finale costume has got to be about the nicest I think I've ever seen for a dame. It's got, I believe, £800 worth of feathers on it before we even start. And we reckoned up the other day that there must be 200 hours of hand beading on it. And that's for a fella. Oh, sorry, I haven't got padding on.
Well, no padding.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Ouch.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you can sit in there.
I don't like to call it female dress at all. One must never, ever forget it's a man, and that's the whole humour. If you forget it's a man, I think you've gone wrong. I personally, for example, with dames, prefer working with the older ones, not necessarily stand-up comics, but good comedy actors like Terry Scott, who know what works and what doesn't. Terry likes to bounce very strongly from warm, motherly type costumes into very strong gag costumes.
I always loved to go on walking across the stage, turning and seeing the audience and grabbing them.
I didn't know you were going to be here, and there you are!
Oh! And from that moment, you try to grab them. You grab different spots of the audience when you're not working well. And you can see certain blocks of people, say 2 or 3 people here, there, who actually have come to see you. and they have welcome in their eyes, and you join them.
Oh, we got people in the council flats. Good evening to you. Oh, look, and the royal box. Good evening. And they got sweets as well. They don't care, do they? Well, chuck us one then, don't you? Oh, she's going to.
The background to mine is Tucker Street, Watford, where I was born, in the shadow of Benskin's Brewery, where all the women used to be leaning on the front gateposts, waiting for their husbands to come home. And Mrs. Carpenter down the road would come in and look in the bin to see what we'd have for lunch. She said, well, I know where everything is in this house except the money.
You don't pray for yourself, you pray for other people. For the rest of the world. For peace. For the end of violence. And joy for all men.
Do you pray for all men?
No, I'm not greedy, just a couple of big navvies.
I mean, I can't imagine Mrs. Carpenter, who's now dead, having sex. Because sex doesn't come into it. I don't like an effeminate dame. It's got to be butch for me. The moment it becomes effeminate, it's wrong. To me. But other people like it, fine. But I mean, to me, it's sexless. You know, warm, friendly, big bus. Hello? Yes.
Well, when you do...
Now, wait till they finish laughing. That's another lesson. Go on, turn the mic.
Well, when you do get married...
Yes, dear.
And you and your husband are going to bed...
Oh, crumbs, yes.
Will you make him wash his hands and clean his teeth?
I'll have him scrubbed down with a wire brush now.
I can't be sexy with a fat face and spindly legs.
I'll say you'll help me. I will advise you. I will. Do you like it? He likes it, oh, I'm so glad. And you like it too, I'll raise at the concert.
How could you take me for a real woman? I mean, that's ludicrous, isn't it?
An 18th century pantomime, that's Commedia dell'arte and then the Harlequinade, it wasn't effete, but it was very charming. Suddenly, in about 1860, the music hall arrived, and they all arrived with their set routines, stuff that they'd rehearsed going round and round the music halls, and they brought into pantomime this marvellous sort of vulgar guts. I think the really interesting thing is the link right the way down the years. A lot of the stuff that Joey Grimaldi did in the pantomime, I'm using this year. He mainly evolved his stuff in 1815. That's the year of the Battle of Waterloo. I use as much of it as I can, and I go often to the British Museum to try and find all these routines. And if they work now, and the kids in the audience laugh, obviously it's marvellous. They don't realise they're 1815, but of course, again, it stops it being a review. It makes it this really very incredible tradition, British pantomime.
For my mind's made up, I'm going to marry him. He'll have to come to church. If he don't, I'll carry him.
The dame is obsessed with catching her man and with keeping him. And Dan Leno developed the dame as we know it now at the end of the last century.
I'm going to marry him. He'll have to come to church. If he don't, I'll carry him. 25 years, I've had my eye on Jim. Well, if he won't marry me, well, I'll insist upon it and take him to church myself. If I have to chloroform him, upon my word, I'll have him.
My father was a great admirer of Dan Leno, and he used to go through all his patter and describe the way he worked, you see, and he had this little face that used to look up like this, and he used his hands in this way. Oh, well, I thought so.
They had this wig, which looked to me like a plastic wig because it was well brushed down, and there was a parting of about nearly an inch, which came right from the top, and it looked very, very funny. And he had a red nose and high cheekbones, and he made himself look hideous, really.
The big stars of music hall, of course, were recruited into pantomimes, and they brought with them Usually they're variety acts, which in a way was rather sad, although of course in some instances, like George Robey, when he came into pantomime, George often did on the stage a funny lady with that marvellous face and the red nose and the enormous eyebrows. He made the most marvellous dame and was suitably robust in his performance.
Although he was a very masculine man, he had a wonderful way of getting this womanly touch and this motherly touch. It was really, really wonderful performance.
The dame must be pretty physical. And I think one of the greatest examples of that was Arthur Lucan, Old Mother Riley, who worked like a windmill, the arms going, the legs going, the head going, and he was a great dame.
Do you know why I'm not in my bed? My daughter's out. My daughter's out! And here's me sitting up here hour after hour, waiting for her to come home. Can you beat it?
Oh, he was very full of gags, always found gags. And gags that would appeal to the ordinary man and woman in the street, you know. He'd get things wrong, and he used to say, look at those two loving each other, well, just like Rodeo and Giblet.
1 o'clock 3 times. I've been sitting there since yesterday. Sitting there since yesterday, waiting for her to come home tonight, and now it's tomorrow. I've never seen her like this before. She's never done anything like this before. There's something wrong. There's something happened to her. My lovely child. She's gone forever. She's gone. When she comes home... and it's not right for any girl to treat a mother like she's treated me. She doesn't come home soon. I know. She'll have a nervous breakdown. She'll have a total eclipse. It's me nerves, you know me. Ah! Somebody got hold of my leg! Somebody got hold of me! Not a disappointment.
He was a 12-month dame. I mean, that was his act. He didn't do other things throughout the year and then become a dame at Christmas. But I love some of his sayings, like when Kitty, his daughter, said, he's going to hit her, and she says, no, mother, don't hit me. I'll send for the police. And he says, I don't need any help. I shall do it myself. He's a wonderful, wonderful rubbery man.
Oh, he was a very, very big draw and a very, very funny little man.
Past master at the way women talk was Norman Evans, who used to do Ashe? Oh. Well, he tried it on me. I mean, those sort of things ladies do. Elderly ladies do. I'm not generalizing, I'm playing safe.
Oh, I say. Have you really? Well, I haven't been well myself, you know, because... Have you? Do you mean, Well, yes. It'll make you feel a bit worried, won't it?
Now, his type of dame was the one with the bun at the top, always, you know, and talking and doing one or two things with his top here, which hurt himself. So, he's the only one that could do that and not be rude about it.
It's a funny thing, you know. I was only saying last week... That's giving me a belt. That's the third time on the same break this week, you know. I'll have to watch myself.
Really, he was brilliant. He really was a brilliant comedian. I used to love him. And he was so warm. You could feel it. And as clean as a whistle, you know.
Righto, ta-da!
Christmas away from home is the lot of the dame, leaving unassuming theatrical lodgings ready to don bust bloomers and skirts. Clarkson Rose played dame most Christmases between 1920 and 1967, and no doubt the landlady he may just have left has been the subject of more than usual scrutiny, though Rose was one of the dames to exchange the striped stockings and sausage curls of the washerwoman dame for satin bustles and diamante earrings.
he was a hard dame, a studied dame, as a lot of them were. In other words, you could see he was male, very male, but he used to shave his arms and paint his nails and wear a lot of jewellery, including earrings that lit up and different wigs, red one entrance, fair the next, brunette the other, some with the buns, some don't. And, but it was a studied performance.
In certain pantomimes, I do what is known as an undressing scene, which I enjoy very much indeed. And I've had the opportunity during a rather long life of seeing how a lady undresses. Don't be shocked, because there's no reason why I shouldn't. And I observe how carefully they do undress. And you'll notice in the winter months, when it's very, very cold, a middle-aged lady, when she undresses, she'll take the garments off one by one and lay them down. And when it comes to the corsets, off they come. And of course, the cold air strikes them and they immediately start to scratch. And you do the scratching. And of course, the audience immediately reacts to it, because they do know, and they've possibly seen the same as I have, what a woman does do.
He was a teacher type of dame. He was very much up with the glasses, you know. He was the dowager type, you know. Simply wonderful. They're all different types of dames. I mean, he was clearly Clarkson Rose, you know.
Well, all the girls of the old brigade, where have the old ones gone? They are extinct, yes, and now the world's bereft, because I appear to be about the only one that's left. Our dresses always reach down to our ankles. We've never any cause to be afraid, and no one would have seen it if we'd have brought the cages in the days of nowadays we live in council houses, and when upon our little beds we'll lay, singing Granny's song at twilight with our legs stuck through the skylight.
Here's someone coming. Blimey, it's the dame. She's thrown her clothes on with a very bad aim. Oh, dear, 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 dear. Girls, I'm all of a doodah. I haven't laughed so much since Father sat on the circular saw.
Oh, there you are, children. Well, I'm Mrs. Crusoe. Well, I'm not going to tell you who you are. I'm not going to ask you who you are. You all know anyway, yes. Oh, I know. It's all very well. I know I'm getting on. Oh, but I was a lovely girl years ago, before my sex appeal went off the boil.
Talking of married, of course I'm married. Well, I had a good figure and I thought it a pity to keep it to myself.
I went to a fortune teller. I said, I feel that love is on the way. I'm getting all hot and bothered. She looked at me and she said, well, dear, you may be hot, but you'll never be bothered. Oh, well, all that sort of thing. I can go on with it. There were all those sort of gags.
Wearing clothes he thought a woman might covet, the glamorous dame above all is Douglas Byng. He refused to play the washerwoman and bought his jewellery from fashionable shops.
I think I was the first person to introduce dame songs into cabaret.
My request, ladies and gentlemen, a little song of spring.
I always appeared down the Café de Paris stairs in full evening dress, and then I put on a feather boa and a hat or a wig, but always left my collar and tie or coattails, and got away with it because I was a man.
Come on, don't shout about it, for spring is in the air. Die Blumen sind ganz blass geworden.
I was a snob about my dames, actually. If I was asked to play the nurse, I said, oh, no, I'm the governess. And if they asked me to play the cook, I never, oh, no, I'm the housekeeper, because then I could wear much better clothes, you see, and smarter clothes.
I'm the merest of mood on the paddle, such a clean little go-ahead town. In our parks we have curry to cuddle, and our trams go both uphill and down. Oh, I'm sorry, that's wrong. I I've a good corporation around me, and a well-padded seat on the bench, as pedestals and palms, and the old civic arms, with a rather rude motto in French.
I changed the name from the old sort of fashioned name with curls, and I always did sort of skits on the present fashions. And I made a great speciality of hats. I had so many. I remember when somebody sent me their first Perspex hat that came in, so I thought it was a good idea. I had it it was like a dish, and I had a pineapple and a lot of fruit all around it, and I thought I was being very original, until I found that Grimaldi had a suit years and years before that entirely made of vegetables, so I wasn't so original. I always liked to have a lovely dress at the end, which I felt that any woman in the audience would say, oh, I wouldn't mind going to a ball in that.
I don't think a female impersonator should be a dame, because they are, to my mind, like employing a comedienne to play a dame, and they're never quite, rough is the wrong word, strident perhaps would be the thing, never quite strident enough.
I don't say you've got to have effeminate gestures or anything like that. I certainly don't. I'm a butch dame. I go on as I am, and I go into the theatre and think, what am I playing? Oh, I'm dame. Put a frock and a wig on. I make no concession to makeup, no Cupid's bow lips or eyeshadow or anything like that. Blatantly me with a frock on.
But for some dames, the grease paint is an important part of the tribal ritual of pantomime, and most dames talk of it as the stage at which they start to feel like a woman, though few real women have happily appeared in the role.
See if I can just bring them out a bit.
Each Christmas, Simon Barry and Alan Vickers come together as ugly sisters in Cinderella, making up and struggling through 12 costume changes twice daily, with balloons for bosoms, balloons for bottoms, and an endless succession of grotesque dresses.
Underneath there, keep going.
The story of Cinderella may have started out as a French fairy tale, but pantomime has translated it into the seedy sparkle of man-mad social climbers, the ugly sisters, getting their just desserts, and the virtuous Cinderella her moment of triumph.
Right, I think that'll do.
How's that look? Does that look all right tonight?
Yeah, good.
The other night they said it looked like a rhinoceros.
Well, that's before you put it on. It's a chance to really go over the top, I suppose. You can be really grotesque and horrendous, nasty and funny, all in one.
Oh, sister, what a journey! I feel awful.
You look awful. I mean, he's a little young one, the lively one, and he's always bouncing about. And I stand there very superior to him.
Alan is very aloof, really. He's very loud, he's very bold. I try to underplay him, be very quick, very sharp.
I love that dress you're wearing.
Do you really? It's what I call my bingo dress.
A bingo dress? Why'd you call it a bingo dress?
Eyes down for a full house.
The whole of Panto is tradition. Every time you set foot on that stage, there are things you must do. You couldn't get through a Panto without saying, oh yes he did, oh no he didn't. It would be impossible to even start.
Who are we? The Ugly Sisters? Oh no, we're not. Oh no, we're not.
It's a big game. They play as well as you. That's why Panto's successful. It's an instinctive game as well. Even 3-4-year-olds know when to shout and when to boo.
No, all right, what you mean.
Ugly Sister's more of a coat hanger, really. You put on a funny frock, well, walk on, and a couple of lines and walk off and go and get changed again. It's a sort of fashion parade of nonsense.
We're winning, I think.
All right. Oh, what are you getting me on?
There.
I shouldn't think anyone sitting in the audience would imagine that either she or the lady next door or her sister-in-law would look anything or act in any way that the way a pantomime dame does.
I'll have a book. That's marvellous.
It's my Auntie Broadbent. I wonder where she got to.
Though sentimental attachment to it lingers on, the old tradition of pantomime is waning as the ritual jokes lose their meaning and music hall stars die off. Melvin Hayes, who's already played Dame 5 times, has the task of initiating his television co-star, Windsor Davis, into the role of ugly sister at the Liverpool Empire. The stars of television, the popular entertainment of today, are going into pantomime as the music hall stars did in the 1870s.
Hello. Get it back on quick. I demand a refund.
I will now show you.
Yeah, let's get on with the makeup.
You ready? Right.
Right. Now, you could use false eyelashes on the bottom, could you?
You can, but I think that's
But
sort of more comedic. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Then,
Got it.
And then probably what I do is I do another one over there for the moment.
Yeah.
Probably might not be seen in a minute.
Or just to emphasize the eye, you mean?
Yeah, to open it up a bit.
Yeah.
That's good, that's fun.
Shaving soap.
Shaving soap. Right. I think I've decided about this pantomime. I think I'll be the pretty one.
Yes.
I think I'll be the, you know what I mean? It's a bit of that, give me
A bit of the rouge, you mean?
Just try that wig.
I just tried it, you mean?
Now you see what I mean?
Oh!
Isn't that wonderful?
Who is that marvellous young man in that check shirt pointing his lens at me?
No, the amazing thing is suddenly you've got it all on.
Yes, that's right.
And you found a character.
Honestly, it's
Seriously,
amazing.
that's the
It's
first
amazing.
time you've done it, isn't
I just don't know who I am anymore.
Mm.
What I wanted to ask you was,
Yes,
and seriously, we've got to talk about this, is you know the business of being cruel.
That's the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. That is horrendous.
Would you like to give me a kiss?
Tradition sort of goes out the window as far as I'm concerned. It's entertainment. The 5-year-old kids are coming to see a pantomime. It's the first time they've ever been to the theatre in their lives. They don't know anything about tradition. They're coming to see a show. They want to laugh. Might be funny, but we're very quick.
The role of ugly sisters provides pantomime with its most ludicrous costumes and some of its most raucous moments. The tradition of men taking women's parts goes back to Greek and Roman times. In Shakespeare's day, women were not allowed on stage, and in the 18th century, actresses were reluctant to take the older comic roles. Why do male entertainers still want to depict grotesque women? Is it merely a way of expanding their repertoire or filling the winter months? Whatever the reason, the lure of the skirt is still very powerful.
Windows a moment, here's your call.
There we are, Cinders.
Oh, thank you.
Give us a clap, boys and girls. Now tear it up.
Go on, tear it up. Tear it up, little pieces.
Tear it up.
Bucket.
Tear it
Go
up.
on, tear it up.
I'm
Tear it up. Go on, tear it up.
Hey.
Go on, small pieces.
Who's not going to the ball?
Who's not going to the ball? Who's not going to the ball? You're not going to the ball.
I like a laugh like that.
Many people told me this is the first thing that they saw in the theatre. And therefore, one is opening the door to a certain amount of magic for children. And therefore, one has to worry about it. And when it doesn't work, like sometimes it doesn't work on certain performances, you want to cry because you haven't really been able to open that door and show them what theatre can be like. Because you can sit at home watching telly forever, but when you actually see somebody perform, not me, but when you see, you know, some magic on the stage, it's unforgettable.
The curious national characteristic about us is we are addicted to corn. The British love corn. So therefore, in pantomime, you have to find what they call good, bad jokes. And the more the audience groan and say, oh, I can't bear it, the more they like it, you see.
How do, chums? Somebody said how do nutty down there. I want it louder than that. How do, chums?
I came from a circus family, from the German circus, which helped me a lot. I learned from the clowns that the way to get laughs is to go on with large collars, because in the circus you have to dress very loudly, because right at the back, if you had a small bow on, they wouldn't see anything. So the bow was large, the collars were large, and they would drop down from the neck to give the neck the long appearance. And the hands, everything had to be grotesque in circus. So that helped me as dame.
Now, I want everybody to wave, and let me see how many people can wave. Come on, only wave. Come on, wave your handkerchief.
In the music hall tradition is Nat Jackley, performing here in Doncaster.
Wave your programme if you've got no handkerchiefs. And ladies, if you've got now to wave, just take your blouses off, will you? Yeah, take them off, go on. Not your bra, missus, not your bra.
I generally go down the street watching people, watching the women, you know, going into the tea shops and just seeing them patter to one another, you know, all this stuff.
Come on, over you go. You're my everything underneath the sun.
And I feel it, you know. I always look at my makeup before I go on. My dress is always there to see that my shoes are clean and all my material is lovely. All my clothes are washed regularly, and so I go and I lift my skirt up. I've got my 3 little knickers underneath. They've got to be absolutely perfect.
Personality.
I believe in entering like a silhouette. So I get the angular thing, so they start laughing before I come around and look at the audience. Then it's these eyes that get to work, you see. There's no nastiness in my approach. I love my dancing. I love all the eccentric work that I've put into it all these years, and it comes up new, you see. When I put on long jumpers, and I do all those funny walks, you know. The audience say, my word, he's still doing it, you know. It's certainly wonderful.
Oh, this is my religious one, this is.
A religious jumper?
Lo and behold.
What's all this lot then?
Oh, these are my cooking utensils round here.
Utensils?
Oh, I'm the cook. I'm going to help you with all the food.
What's that then?
Oh, that's for the soups.
I like soups.
Yeah, what kind of soup do you like?
Pea soup.
What kind of soup do you like?
Cock-a-leaky.
Yeah.
Then comes a time when you've got to do the visual stuff. You see, my Brownie sketch is all visual. You'll see, I do everything I possibly can to get laughs, you know, even with props, you know.
Hey, I've been robbed. Where the devil is? Where the devil is? I don't know where it is. Where is it? Something missing about. Where is it?
No, there's nothing really vulgar that we hear in pantomime. It may be the approach to it.
I said, find it! Find what I'm looking for. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Carry on talking, it won't be long. I'm trying to fathom out where he got to. Why there?
Well, I like the down-to-earth humour, you know. I might get a little bit naughty in some of my actions, you know. But I don't mean it to be rude. It's just that that's what a woman would do, you know.
Thank you very much. Kiss me underneath the mistletoe, do. Hold me tight, don't you ever slack. Give me one with the grace and kiss me. Well, that was very good for the first time. Give a round of applause. Come on, you were very, very good.
Now, children come into this on the stage, and I interrogate them, and it's what they say, the lovely little things they say, they get their laughs.
Would you like to help me?
They're the comedians then, they take over.
Beautiful. That's it. Give him a round of applause. A lovely round of applause, boys and girls.
And I have letters from people from years ago saying, do you remember that night on Tuesday night in Sheffield when I got on the stage And they've remembered, but I would never remember these things, but they remind you, and I say, oh, I do remember. And I do sometimes, but say, oh, yes, you're not the little girl that... And she's there, she's a mother with children. It's simply wonderful.
I love the contact with the children. Kids say such wonderful things. They say, you know, they give you scripts that you can't buy.
My mummy and daddy looks after me.
Do they? I'm very pleased to hear it. Well, look, you take one for your mummy, eh? And one for your daddy. There we are. Do you like those jelly fruits? They're nice, aren't you? You can have another one. There you are. You might as well have another. Oh, of course you can. You can carry it. Look, I've got another one left. What are these here? Tiger tots. Do you like those? No, you're not bothered about those. What's this? Tutti Fruities, yes? You like those? Oh, we'll have one of those then. What about a stick of rock? Would you like that? Yes, have a stick of rock. Jelly tots. Do you like... Yes, have a jelly tot. See, what else? There's more jelly tots there. I'll tell you what I have got for you, though. You know my big goose, Priscilla? Well, especially for you, because you were the biggest one. She went to Thornton's today, and she's laid you a lovely big chocolate egg. I'll show it to you. It's here, look. Look at that. Do you like that as well, eh? I'll carry that for you, shall I? Come on over here, then.
I don't think you can say an actor can do it or a comic can do it. I think a pantomime artist is a specialised art. It is all by itself. It's very difficult to explain. It's difficult to explain to an actor, even, what the difference is between just playing a part and doing a pantomime. I think a lot of it's got to do with the size of the performance and the volume, especially on a matinee.
Are you free? Well, that's the posh side, definitely. It is. There's a lady up there eating chips with her gloves on.
When I play Mother Goose at the beginning of the show, I walk like lots of little ladies walk when they're carrying their shopping, you know. Particularly in Bradford, I don't know why it is, but ladies in Bradford walk differently. I think it's all the hills, possibly, there, and they're laden down from their markets and whatnot. And there is a sort of, it's almost a waddle. It's almost like a goose, really.
Come on, blow. Oh! You'll have to have your medicine. I've got some night nurse for you. Oh, it works. More than I can say for Lady Grecian 2000. Still, it's my own fault for drinking it.
Mother Goose is really the best acting part of a dame, I think, that there is, because she goes through such changes and such torment, poor love.
Could you make me beautiful? I'd really like to be beautiful. You couldn't. Or you wouldn't. That's more like it, isn't it? I bet you could if you wanted to. But you wouldn't. You're just like all the rest. Selfish. Oh, go on, get away.
And she's not content, you see. This is the whole point of the pantomime. She's not content with her wealth. She wants to be beautiful. I do like to see a nice pair of legs on the principal boy. And I do like to see a man play dame, even if it's only for decency's sake. I mean, the undressing is an important part of the dame, and there's something about a real lady taking off lots of knickers and things that isn't quite right.
It's time for my beauty sleep. Night-night, girls. Hasn't it been a shocking day for
I invented the strip. A lot of people do it now, and I'm very flattered to do. I was playing Oxford 18 years ago, and I hadn't got much to strip off. I'd got the corsets with the bolt on and the hot water bottles at the back, but I'd got 6 or 7 sweaters. So I put them all on, and I said, well, after you play Goodnight, Sweetheart, suddenly go into the stripper, and I will start changing my character and stripping off as if I am sexy. She imagines this dame that she's suddenly being outrageous.
I've done 59 pantomimes, first 5 years as a boy and a young man, and 54 times I've played dame. 22 of those dames have been Mother Goose, which I played for 11 years in succession. I didn't intend being a dame. I'd no ambitions at all to be a dame. When I first played dame, that's all those years ago, most dame comics were what I called bonnet and shawl dames. They did wear mainly only domestic things. But I think I was the first of the dressing up dames. I made a gimmick of changing my costume every time I came on. I never came on in the same costume twice. By the time I've got moved 3/4 of the way, I'm suddenly looking like a woman and feeling feminine enough to sort of convey that it is a woman. Not that I try to fool anybody that I'm a woman, I don't.
George Lacey is the oldest working dame, here going on stage in Puss in Boots at Tunbridge Wells.
Did he hit me then? What was it? A spider? No, there's no spider there. Oh, no, there isn't. Now then, this is a quick one, but one I can do on my own, actually, because I'll have to turn my back to, there you are, before I get this on. Oh, dear. Oh, they were lovely, the crowd, they're very good.
How many bananas do I hold in my hand?
2.
No, 3.
No, but I can only see 2.
No, there are 3.
It must be this fog that's about, I think. Oh, my eyes are getting bad. I can only see 2.
No, there are definitely 3 bananas.
Well, prove it to me.
Well, there's 1.
Yes.
There's 1, 2. 1 and 2 are 3.
Oh, I say. Oh, I like that. Oh, isn't that good? Show me again. Show me again.
There's 1. There's 1, 2. 1 and 2 are 3.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, the the bust, there they are on the rail. Bring me my clothes. You can bring them for me. I've got to duck. Can you find them?
Yes.
Oh yes, I'll need that as well. All right, I'll put these on our sheet. Okay. All right? That's very good. I'll put it over there, please. I can't expose my beautiful body anymore in front of the camera. I refuse. Right. Oh. Pardon me. Put it round the Put it round the
It won't die out because there are not a lot of dames around, and some young people are going to realise that if they do study the art of dame, they'll be in work every Christmas, and that's something.
Dames are certainly not a dying art. Pantomime is supposed to be a dying art, and for years and years and years, indeed for the whole 25 years that I've been doing pantomime, I've been reading of the death of pantomime, something which changes so frequently and which grows so naturally as pantomime couldn't possibly die.
In Pinner in North London, the local vicar regularly plays dame for the Arrow players, exchanging his ritual vestments for the traditional dame costume.
I've been playing dame for 20 years, and I wouldn't say that it's changed very much. I think when we're young, the fashions change. Teenagers now are different from what they were then, but older people aren't very much different. Their attitudes to life, I don't think, are very much different now. Because if the women come in here, they drink all our booze. Oh, so it's essential that periodically the vicar shows that he is an ordinary man, and indeed a figure of fun. It's great, makes people stand on their own feet. Do them up tight, because I'm not...
They get in slack.
Well, they are. Well,
They
they're
are.
not. They're part of me, you see. That's it. When I put on my priestly robes, the idea is to become the priest. That is, that I take my personality into and subdue it to the role of the priest, so that it doesn't matter if I'm good or bad or fat or thin. The thing is, you need a priest. And it's the same in the role of the dame. You assume the role of the dame. You take your personality inside it and sort of hide it away inside.
Back to front, so I've got that leg first.
It's very important indeed that the vicar is never seen as someone separate from the rest of humanity. After all, my correct title is the parson, the person, the common man.
Racing round this $1 million chicken coop. I hear a slip shot and say, brother, get her. We got the best day of 300 plus. All I can say is, wow, it's just a red and round. She just exactly how the sun is all turned around. What a real look for me, how it is. My friends come to see me out.
I think you take an idealized type of typical mum, somebody who worries about her children, is exasperated by them, and at the same time is very proud and despairs of the person that they eventually marry.
And all that jazz, come on home, we're gonna honey hug. I've got some aspirin down at United Drug, in case we fall apart and need a brand new start to do that.
jazz. I think I get much more fun out of putting on man's evening dress, for instance. If I had to choose between the two, I think I'd prefer trousers every time.
And all that jazz. Show, I wear the father girdle. Oh, her mother's wrong girdle. If she hears her baby's queer for all that jazz.
Life is bawdy. It is. We all live in this earthy life. That's why Christianity is the religion I choose, because it's to do with life as it is. It's an earthy religion. And I think that the bawdiness in pantomime is correctly there. It isn't dirty, it isn't sleazy, but it's life as it is.
Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows and they'll morning shows and we'll close the town in a world and we won't go home until we've kissed the girl.
One or two, I'm quite sure, loathe it. But even in this parish, it's not compulsory to come and watch me play in pantomime. They have the option to stay away.
Now who'll come and roll mother's pudding? Who'll come and flatten the dough? Who'll fold the ends and straighten the bends? You know where good puddings go. Daddy is out in Australia. Granny has papered the tin. So if you're all good, you shall all have some food. Now who'll stick the first currant in? Very good, children. Now just for the last time, we'll all sing the chorus together. Who'll come and roll mother's pudding? Who'll come and flatten the dough? Off we go, boys. Who'll come and roll mother's pudding? Who'll come and flatten the dough? Who'll fold the ends? Who'll fold the ends, straighten the bends, and straighten the bends? You know good puddings go. You know where good puddings go. Daddy is out in Australia. Daddy is out in Australia. Granny has papered the tin. Granny has papered the tin. So it's all good. So if you're all the good, you shall all have some food. Now who'll stick the first currant in? Pom pom.